Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vase. Finally got some shirts in the mail from the tonevase.com store. This was actually one of my favorites. It's one of the ones that went up on sale earlier. I really wanted to scan this QR code. For some reason, I wasn't able to scan it, but I was really hoping these would be scannable for the Bitcoin QR codes. Let me situate here with the live chat and everything. Thought I pulled a lot of the stuff out, but here we go. All right, so the last couple of shows, I did not have any guests, but we do have a guest on this program, a recurring guest, and let's welcome Nick Core back to the program. I think it's been a good month since you've been on, man.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. It has been a month, actually. How's everybody doing?
Man, time just flies. And I know you've been kind of busy working on some indicators, working on some stuff. Haven't been doing too many YouTube videos lately, but that's coming back. So remind my viewers and a little bit about yourself and your background as I do screen share on your social media.
Okay. So on the indicator mention that I'm done with indicators for a while. More just working on algorithmic trading and developing some systems there. There's my Twitter. Most everything I announce, post, any analysis, any live shows are posted there. And yeah, you can see sometimes I get off topic there, but I was comparing the pros of those two. There's my site. You can buy the past indicators that I've created on there. There's 3 of them: exhaustion, reversal, and volume. Also, if you click BTC analysis right there on the right-hand corner, or top right, yep.
Oh, got it.
Yep. You just have to go to BTC analysis because you don't have a market watch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so click BTC. So what this is, we're clicking it. Just click the top BTC analysis, the button. Yep, just click that.
Oh, this one.
No, you're on that.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so click BTC analysis. Just click it. This.
I don't see it.
Just click that. Click it.
I'm not sure how you. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is trend analysis. Bitcoin is free on my site. So if you're ever lost on the trend of Bitcoin, go to my site, scroll down here. This just kind of explains it a little bit. It's not going to nail the exact tops and bottoms on purpose. It can, but it's meant to confirm trends. And the lowest we go on there is the 4-hour up to the monthly. But with the subscription, there's all coins there. Bitcoin is free. You can always see the trend there. If you go back to it, you just click the time frame that you want to see the confirmed trend on right there. So you can just click daily, weekly, monthly. It's the same format. It updates instantly to the site.
Really? So you're in a daily bearish trend, huh?
Yep, it's in a daily confirmed bearish trend. Keep in mind, it goes off of confirmation, off of everything. But yes, it is.
Interesting. What about your weekly bearish? So I'm neutral on a weekly. Monthly, I'm assuming should be. Oh wow, you're on a monthly bearish.
Real quick, back to the weekly neutral candles. So considering the trend was bullish on the weekly before, those neutral candles would be considered continuation candles, right? But the system is based off a rate of change. So when the market begins to sell beyond that rate of change, it'll flip that into a weekly bearish trend. So if we're flat for a while, then suddenly we have a large sell-off or rally, it'll trigger, typically indicating the trend shift if all the parameters have been met. But yes, it does show a weekly bearish trend.
All right, I see. So it's bullish on a 4-hour. Well, we'll take a look at your charts in a minute. That's interesting. I haven't been to your site in a while. This is new, right? The
BTC analysis came out a couple of weeks ago. The market analysis, it's $25 a month. You get all those altcoins. It's not wrong. It has dominance also. Here's the trick with altcoins, guys. Whether you love them or hate them, if you're going to trade them, when dominance begins to have its trend shift, I'll share that when it gets to my screen, but I want to show the Bitcoin dominance trend shift. But the 4-hour, daily, weekly, and monthly have been in a bullish trend for a long time. Don't expect alts to pop off as long as that BTC.
The Bitcoin dominance chart somewhere here on my list. Whoa, what happened here?
Yeah. Well, as far as trend analysis goes, as long as the dominance is in a bullish trend, which it is on 4-hour daily, weekly, monthly, typically you're not going to see alts pop off as a whole. You're going to look for scalps, day trades, scalps if you're lucky, day trades, and short-term trades with altcoins. But yeah, this will help with trend analysis.
All right, very cool. And this is your trading view? Do you still post there quite often?
Not quite often. But again, I've been building a lot, so I haven't posted anywhere on social media much. But that last analysis right there with Bitcoin still stands, still going. It's been correct for a while. I've been sticking to this plan for quite a bit. Still looking for a lower low around 7,500 to 8,000, but we'll dig into that in a little bit.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting to hear. And yeah, your YouTube channel looks like you haven't posted any videos in 4 weeks, but you're telling me it's coming back.
It is coming back. Daily show with a few guys. I don't know how many of you guys watch the Crypto TMZ show on Periscope. That has moved. Those guys and myself are moving that to YouTube on my channel, and it'll be a frequent show discussing cryptocurrency markets, interviews, kind of the same way that you came on, but a little more expanded. And then I'll be streaming on Twitch, uploading those live streams to YouTube. I'll still do them on YouTube also.
But all right, very cool. And before we get to the charts, real quick, guys, tonevase.com. In the workshop section this Saturday, I am doing a 3-hour Q&A, testing something new out. Figured $50, just $50 US for 3 hours. Right now, looks like one person has signed up. So think of it as, so for that one person, it's like a 3-hour consulting session for $50. But that's the plan. So check it out. And if you're interested in joining me for a 3-hour Q&A this Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time till noon, go ahead and sign up through the workshop page. Check out the calendar, of course, for my travel schedule. And right here, I'm gonna we'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but the Financial Summit just updated the website a little bit, changed some of the wording, some of the text. Check out the Bali Financial Summit, kind of like a get-together with traders and funds looking for trading strategies. All right, let's get into the charts. Haven't had you on here in a month, Nick. So we are going to go to the monthly charts. Usually this is the one that I look at with Heikinashi. I am not an expert at Heikinashi by any means. I believe you know it better than I do if you want to throw in a little bit of an insight into the optimal way of utilizing Heikinashi. But the monthly chart to me has been positive and bullish based on sequential, and it's above, all the moving averages. They're all rising. So the monthly chart, it does look bullish, even though, as we will talk about, how the lower level timeframes are concerning. Your overall big picture monthly scale candles, what are you thinking, man? Oh, mute it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's looking at the Heikinashi on the monthly, it's bullish. No way about it. I mean, it's Heikinashi is really good for trend analysis, trend identification, and filtering out the noise. If you ever lost on being able to find the direction, especially for newer traders, they do struggle with that. Most traders can just look at the candlesticks and identify it, but if you're having trouble reading them, flip it over to Heikinashi and you can see the trend a lot clearer. But yeah, Heikinashi is great.
All right, cool. Let's go on to the weekly. The weekly has been frustrating me personally because it's been in neutral mode according to my favorite style of trading. I can, for every candle in the last 2 weeks, in the last 2 months, I have like 2 or 3 things that are making me bullish, 2 or 3 things that are making me bearish. You sum that all up and it's neutral. And it remains neutral. It is bearish according to parabolic SARS. I'll have Socrates back on the show again soon. And it is bearish by breaking this trend line. It is on a red 2, but it's now trading above a red 1. That actually means nothing according to Sequential, but the Sequential has not activated a trade in a while. I talked more about this yesterday, I believe. We are above all 3 moving averages now, but the shorter term moving average is kind of flat. and it's just, just going neutral. We're above the Fibonacci line, which is making me a little bit leaning bullish, but all of that cancels each other out. And no matter where this candle ends this week is going to be neutral, and next week will also be neutral, almost no matter what happens. So, and the week's almost over. So I'll be neutral on a weekly scale for at least another, going into the mid to late September, until it actually gives me a trend. Your view on a weekly chart, Nick, by just looking at my chart, and then I'll of course have you pull up your charts after we go through mine.
I mean, so just looking at the weekly, right? It's completely flat, but I mean, there's really not much from it. I think there's more data to look at on the daily. More interesting information here. It's just going to be flat.
Oh, I'm with you there. Yeah. Okay, so let's jump right into the daily. Yesterday, I counterplated whether this candle here is considered a touch of the top of the triangle. I fully believe this is a triangle at this point. We now have 3 touches of the downward sloping line, not including the starting point. And we have 3 very clear touches on the horizontal line, with this one coming in very, very close. And while the candle 2 days ago came up just shy of that line, and I have not adjusted this triangle at all. I haven't adjusted this triangle in probably weeks, or possibly even in a month. And we have a clear touch of this triangle. Now, obviously, Bitcoin price can do whatever the hell it wants. It can break above the triangle, but I'm going to respect it right here, even though the sequential is telling me there could be 3 more days of upside. But I'm going to respect the rejection that took place this morning, just under 11,000. And I'm very, very curious if we're going to continue inside this triangle the rest of the month. And however, I will acknowledge that the price is above all 3 of my moving averages. They're all somewhat rising. That's a bullish picture. Sequential still says that you have 3 more days in a setup phase. And I'm not exactly sure why I have a countdown phase. Maybe I'm not using my own latest indicator. Hold on one second. Oh, it's coming from here, but we broke setup trend. Yeah, give me a second, guys. I gotta reload. Let me reload it just in case. Too many charts. That's better. Wow. I do update the version. So when I notice something, and I notice it quick, there is no countdown, as I suspected. This is the latest code if you have access to the sequential update. We're going to do one more release in the very near future. Fixed another tiny little thing, which wasn't that critical. But yeah, so here it is. We don't have the countdown here. We just have the setup. All right, Nick, your view on the daily.
Can I flip my chart?
Oh, you want to open your charts? Okay, then give me 1 second. I just want to walk. I haven't seen my own charts. I just want to walk through the lower level time frames real quick. And here's the 12-hour. I drew this little bullish triangle on a 12-hour. It looks like we broke right out of it, but that's your resistance, and it's right around where the daily resistance is, and the 4-hour is right at resistance as well. The 4-hour hit a sequential 13 right here. And again, I'm going to respect this point. I think that Bitcoin does need a pullback right here. And that's what, and this is the 15-minute, and it's consolidating at the top. All right. I'm going to, before I hand off charts, I'll hand off charts to you, and then we'll go back to looking at altcoins and stuff on my charts. All right. Let me stop screen share. Go for it.
All right, so we'll start on the daily Bitstamp. Yeah, so we either reject here or we pull above and close above and retest 12,325 as of this daily close. So a couple things to note here that I'm looking at on the daily. This impulse does not look strong. For one, getting some very small bear divs on the alpha reversal, which is looking for significant divs on the stochastic, RSI, and momentum indicator. But let me clean this chart up a little bit. And let's look at this previous peak of where we're at now of 10,955. We are $6.48 short on this candle, breaking that peak. And if we expand this OBV here, here's our prior peak. Our OBV is not looking good. Now this is the daily, so we'll dig in on some smaller time frames real quick. But something to note with the ADX is this impulse right here, at least on the daily, it is weakening right there. Nothing notable on the MFI. Actually, I want to look at the daily Ichimoku real fast.
Yeah, and I'll comment that if we do break this 11,000 area and go all the way to 12.3, I become pretty bullish for the rest of the year, actually. Like, this is my area of rejection. Otherwise, I think we're going to go higher and higher.
So there's a couple things I'm looking for here. We'll just skip the 12 and the 6 hour because that's what I was working towards. Wow, my mouse sensitivity is too high or something. There we go. All right, so short term, you can see here on the 4 hour, just this prior peak alone, that is divergent, bearish divergent on the OBV. So again, high likelihood of rejection. We're really adding up for a rejection here. This candle right here, back to price action real fast. I know I'm all over the place. Breaking this low here of this wick, which is 10,803. From a day trader's point of view, that'd be a pretty good short position entry. Short there, stop loss right there, right at the top of the wick, basically 1055.48. And then ride the short down if you have a bearish bias. But let's take a look at the other stuff real quick too.
Yeah, I really like this area right here for a really good risk reward play. Like if I was shorting right here, I'd know exactly where my stop loss would be. It'd be like $11,010, right? Like right above 11,000. So you're risking very little for a possibility to go back to the bottom of the triangle at 9K.
Yeah, it's a very clean setup. Alternatively, a close above this resistance here. Now, I can honestly see us waking up here real fast. I was looking at, where was that at?
That's why I don't trade crypto. Like if I am
right here.
Go back to trading, and this is why, like if this was Apple stock, I would totally do it. Bitcoin, I don't know.
Okay, so here's a very similar scenario right here. Let me see if I can get this all into view. So I guess, I can't find that example I had earlier. Either way, it looks like we're selling. Volume does not look good at all. Let me drop down to the hourly real quick and we'll dig into volume. Take a look at that. OBV, still divergent on the hourly. ADX isn't looking great either. And Ichimoku, let's check. Yeah, it's just really reacting from this last rally. Looks fine to me. One last indicator, alpha volume. See if we have any major sell spikes going on yet. On the hourly, we do not. Yeah, so short term.
Wow, it looks like it's getting rejected as we speak right here.
Yep. Short term breaking this last 4 hour close, closing below that would indicate, that's in 2 hours, 24 minutes, would indicate a pretty good reversal for me, considering volume, candle closes, looking for that reversal. Now, where does that take it? I'm still under the impression, and I'm pretty sure Tone disagrees with me based on his triangle, that we have a further low incoming of 8,066. And basically my theory is, so I don't ramble on, is we have two corrective structures, and now we're completing the second one, especially if we reject here and don't really get any more bullish activity. It just confirms it even further for me. But I'm still looking anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000, but I'll be looking to place some longs around 8,066.
Yeah, if here's the thing, if we get rejected right here and go back to 9K, which is, I mean, if we break 9,000 on the downside out of that triangle, my targets are 7,000 and lower. Now all of that gets scrapped if we go up above 11 and start approaching 12. Like then I become the biggest bull into the halving. But I still think there's going to be I'm still leaning towards a crash in Bitcoin in October.
In October, huh? Yeah. I try not to put timing on things. I've learned that timing and it's just too hard to accurately predict. So I try not to.
Yeah, no, I mean, the timing has definitely bit me in the ass on some of it, but I always think of it as terms of price and time. And as long as I give myself double the time of what my anticipation is in my trading, I do okay. So that's kind of how I do, because I'm a former options trader, and you have to get the time right to be an options trader. And I always just doubled whatever time I anticipated the events to happen in.
Right. And
in which case, I'm sorry, in which case, if they happen immediately, like if you're anticipating a move in October and you double your time to allow for that, but the move happens the next day, that will actually screw up your option trade really badly.
Right. A couple comments in your chat. Some people talking about not using stops. Use stops. It doesn't matter. There was a comment that if you don't use leverage, you don't need stop losses. It's all about the approach and the mindset. If you're going into a trade without knowing your stop point, then you're not approaching the trade right, and it's not an appropriate setup. You need to have your stop set. You need to be able to look at the risk reward. I know some people don't use risk reward and use other methods, but definitely use a stop. That's my opinion at all on that. And also, I have been short since August 10th on mine too. It's not like I'm shorting here, but from a day trader's point of view, you can be there.
I'll comment on stop losses. Like when we say stop losses, if you're a disciplined trader, when we say stop losses, we don't literally mean you have to set a stop loss, but you have to set a notification so that you know when your stop loss this is where, I mean, before you enter a trade, you have to have a plan of when to admit you're wrong. Now, for many people, all you have to do is set an actual stop loss with the exchange, at which point you admit you're wrong, and it immediately takes your trade out. But if you're a disciplined trader, it's good enough to set an alert and an alarm for, hey, if this happens against me, I am probably wrong. So you don't literally need a stop loss, but you need to be aware what your plan was, and this is where you need to adjust shit.
Also, if you're trying to take trades that are less than a swing trade time frame, so in other words, less than 2 days, 3 days, make sure you have a stop loss plugged in and set. You have to sleep, you have to use the restroom, and things happen. So unless you're doing something more than a swing trade, I recommend using them.
All right, so back to my charts for a second. So I'm still, oh wow, we just pulled back a lot. Holy shit. What the hell? We just dropped like $200? Look at that. This candle was like at the top when we started the show, like 10 minutes ago. Holy shit.
Yeah,
look at that.
It's getting the pullback.
Wow. Damn. Yeah, that's what happens when you hit resistance. And I warned about this yesterday, and that would have been a nice trade. And I love how the commentators are, well, how come Tone has a show called Trading Bitcoin, but he doesn't trade Bitcoin? Because I'm doing the show right now and not trading this rejection and talking about the rejection in real time, right? I can't do two things. I can't be trading at this moment and doing the show. So I chose to do the show instead. And I like my lifestyle of doing shows instead of trading. But I will start trading traditional markets. Okay. Shitcoins, they've been dying. And I couldn't be happier. I hope that the backholders of shitcoins lose a lot of money because I've tried warning everybody for the last 5 years. And instead, they've just been making fun of the fact of me and my Bitcoin maximalism. So payback's a bitch. And I hope you guys lose all your money and don't have internet to troll anymore. So Ethereum is, how ugly is this chart, man? Look at the weekly chart.
Yeah, it's, I know it. Yeah, it's ugly. Nothing here, really.
Litecoin broke this double support, double low, broke the double low, and Litecoin is a complete and utter disaster right now, too. And Bcash, I can't wait for this to go below 0.02. I can't wait for that thing to be less than 2%. And I was making fun of it on its birthday that the Ukrainian currency was a better store of value than Bcash on its second birthday throughout its existence. Here is all of your top 10 altcoins for the year 2019, and only the Binance token was the only one that outperformed Bitcoin. Everything else is down against Bitcoin. Ripple down 75% against Bitcoin this year alone. Any more thoughts? We're gonna go back to Bitcoin in a second. You have thoughts on gold or silver? I mean, man, look at Sequential. I called this one in real time pretty much. This is the daily Sequential on silver, hitting this 9, and that was inside the weekly Sequential on a 9. Look how gorgeous that is.
No.
Any thoughts on metals, man? Gold, silver? I don't know if you care, but.
No. I mean, I see the news headlines, and that's about all I see with gold. I know gold's been doing well, and I know silver had a gigantic pullback. I think I saw something about that in the TD, but that's it.
The S&P is doing well. We're almost at new all-time highs. Remember, the higher the market, the easier it is for Trump to get reelected. Keep that in mind. And here is the weekly chart, looking great. Everything looks great. Here are equities. Now, I have been mentioning potential buying opportunities in Lyft and Uber. So here's Uber, and both of them, I would be out of these trades. They would have both hit my stop losses. They look like awesome trades. And buying Uber off of this 9, I would have already been in a break-even stop loss, and this trade would have been exited for a tiny, tiny profit. And the same thing with Lyft. Lyft looked like a very good buy off of this Sequential 13, along with Uber's 9, and the trade was fairly profitable the next day. I would have set a break-even stop loss, and you can see this is why we set stop losses. So these are two trades that totally failed, and the worst thing that they did was keep my account neutral. And this is how I used to trade. It has served me very, very well, and this is how I would have protected myself. And after 2 days, I would be reusing this capital into other trades. Now, it's very, very strange how the stock market is up so much in the last 2 days, but with Lyft now making new all-time lows, I believe, yep, and Uber also almost making new all-time lows. While the stock market's rising, Uber is not making new all-time lows yet, but it's close. But I would not trust it. I really thought that the rising market, and these would be my best 2 stocks considering how far they've been beaten up, but the market has other plans, and this is why you exit these trades, hopefully with a tiny profit, and you move on and you find other opportunities. Wanted to talk about MOS, another one that I talked about on the show a little while ago, another buying opportunity here on the 9. Would I have been stopped out on this red candle? Maybe, maybe not. If I have been it depends on where I bought it, and it depends on what happened that day. Is it possible that I would have bought into this stock if I was actively trading right here, and I literally would have got stopped out for a tiny, tiny profit to cover my commissions right here at the low, and only to watch the stock run away from me? Is that possible? Of course it's possible. Is that something that bothers me? It used to bother me 10 years ago. Now it doesn't, because for all I know, this could have gone straight down like Lyft did. And therefore, if I did not get stopped out, I'd still be holding on to this trade. So this was a double nine, so I would have given it a little bit more respect. I know that the initial stop loss would have been below the low, but would I have raised that stop loss after these 2 days? The answer is I probably would have. So it's all about where did I get into this trade? And that's how I trade sequential along with a rising market. Any stocks you want to look at, Nick? Or we want to go back?
I base my trading, my analysis on, where my own wealth is at, or my own dollars are at, and I have nothing in the stock market. So I don't pay attention to it much.
All right, so let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this little fall that we're dealing with right now. And it looks like it's accelerating. Man, talk about, and for everyone that says TA doesn't work, look at this. How can you say, like, we were all watching this, right? I expected it to get rejected at the top of the triangle. Sure, I expected it to get rejected at the top of the triangle next week, not this week. I thought it can pull back one more time and bounce off the moving average, but it went straight up. But the point is, I did anticipate us to get rejected at the top of that triangle, and we just fell $600 in the last while the show's been happening. Like what do you want to say to people that say TA doesn't work?
I say that, and you see this outside of finance and TA or trading, whatever, when people don't understand something, it's instantly a scam, or it doesn't work, or something's up. And technical analysis is really complex. There's a lot of things to tie together, and some people go a whole lifetime trying to do TA and never quite get it to work, and because of that, they label it as a scam. But if there is thousands upon thousands of people making a living every day, tens of thousands off of TA, then something must be there, and the guys that say TA doesn't work just are too ignorant or haven't quite got a understanding on it.
All right, here's a 15-minute chart. My friend Joe Saz loves it. We have 10 minutes to go. We will get to the next candle on the show probably, and that will be a 9. And I would love to actually play around with that in real time. Let me look at what's the lowest time frame you trade, Nick?
So I'll go to 15-minute and 5-minute for like entries on some scalps and stuff. Not even scalps. I mean, I'll take scalps on 15 and 5, I should say.
We have a 9 on a 5-minute chart, but the 15-minute chart is usually cleaner. So I would not rush in to buy this thing on a 5-minute chart because on a 15-minute chart, you still have 5 candles to go. But let's see what happens here. I'll keep an eye on
when there's rapid movement like that, I don't take a look at the 5 or 15-minute. You're not going to get any really good information from after any rapid movement for a trade. I don't look for any kind of setups on here. Usually a break like we had, but yeah.
I want to see what happens next candle on a 15-minute chart. Joe has me convinced that trading 9s on 15 minutes is very, very lucrative. And I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Just backtest it. You can backtest it in trading too.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm sure he's done that. I just I haven't found the time. But yeah, I want to just bring up Bali one more time. This is if this Bali event goes well and is successful, I would love to do these, definitely annually, potentially more often than that. And it's a way for traders to kind of get together. Experienced traders. There'll be some educational components. We'll see how this event evolves over time. You can see some of the people in attending. I don't want to call them speakers. There's really no speakers here. There is senior traders, and there is, traders that have a history of, I guess, being profitable, that and love or hate, either one. And then there are traders coming that want to learn and, pick our brains in this. And if you are a trader and you have, a YouTube channel and popularity, I'm happy to put your, description here for attending. We also have a couple of funds coming. Hopefully, I can get one more fund description right down here. If you're a fund or you're running or you're a developer and you're looking to help a trader code their strategies so you guys can both profit in an automated way, this is where you want to be. You want to work in the networking and try to pick up some trading strategies you can code. That's basically the main focus of this event. All right, I can talk about what I do all day. If you guys want to support this channel, please check out the affiliates page. If you're going to sign up for TradingView, please use the affiliate link. Same thing for VPN. If you're trading in the US as a US citizen, eToro and LVL are good options. If you're not a US citizen, but check your jurisdiction, Deribit might be an option for you. And check that all out. Oh, we also have Kraken. I got to have someone from Kraken on my show. I want to talk about what they've been up to as well. And my calendar, you can see where I'm traveling to. And of course, the AMA that's happening this Saturday, $50 converted into Bitcoin. And 3 hours, you can send me your questions ahead of time. We'll have a Telegram group for that or live on air. Just type in your question and I'll spend 3 hours with people looking to join the AMA. Try not to sign up Saturday morning. That makes it difficult to get all the registrations processed. All right, Nick, what else do you want to talk about, man? You want to pull up some more charts? You want to educate people on some other indicators? I can ask questions because I'm really curious what your alpha indicators do. We can talk about that.
Sure. Okay, so there's alpha volume, which you actually have access to. But what you're looking for here is it's real-time major spikes in sell and buy volume. They're really good when we see the spikes prior to, when you see major spikes and there's flat movement, you generally want to look for a move to follow after. So if we don't see any price movement at all, and then a major spike like this, they tried to buy this up hard, but
does that
selling is not.
Oh, wait a minute. But does that imply the direction of the move, or it just says to watch out for a move?
So two things. It's volume. So it's going to show your major position. So if you have a teal spike here, you have major buy positions spiking in. If you have a orange spike, you have major sell positions, right? So if it happens during movement, it's generally useless because that's just reacting to the market moving and everybody selling off of it. You're not going to get any trades based off of that. Now, if it happens something, for instance, like you see some big teal spikes here, big teal spikes here, big teal spikes here, and this
it eventually moved up.
Yeah, it was flat. So what's happening there is all those buyers are drying out supply, and eventually supply dries up and it pops up. And it's really good for scalps, really good for trades in general. If you go down to the daily here, you can see.
And that was going to be my other question. What is your optimal time frame for this?
So when I was studying volume, I found that there's actually needs to be some different formulas for different time frames. So this volume indicator, the alpha volume, works on all time frames. It adjusts automatically its settings. Your settings you see there, 3,500, that's not the settings. You can change it around a lot, but the peak limit is there to show significant spikes on it. So like if I unclick this, it'll take the peak limit off of 1,500 to 500. You can change that because some of these spikes go up to like 100,000. So basically the peak limit is just a limit on how high the spike will show. But back to what I was saying here on the daily, you can see here before it dumped from 6K all the way down to 3,200, we had that major sell spike.
Yeah, that huge sell spike was very timely. And this is on the daily right before the big crash.
Yeah, we didn't see it throughout the entire correction there.
Look at that.
And then as it was going flat, a lot of the demand was taken out. Saw some major sellers wipe out that demand and buyers gave in, and we had that. Now fast forward to coming out of that, you see on the daily here, we haven't had any teal spikes, which indicates heavy buying. And we had major positions taken here. during this 2-day period. And you can see a couple weeks later, we popped up and started that rally out. So those 2 spikes alone, we're able to identify it on the daily, and going down to the 15-minute, you'll see the same type of idea. Now, you do want to use volume with other forms of analysis. You don't want to rely on one indicator. This is not a trading system. This is an indicator for measuring real-time volume. Add the alpha reversal onto it. So
yeah, I'm actually pulled up the alpha volume on my chart right now. I just wanted to make sure I do have I do have it. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah, and so you'll see.
I don't think I have the alpha reversal though, but it's okay. Like I said, I don't actively trade, so it's all good.
I'll add it for you to look at if you're interested in it. Keep in mind the alpha volume is real time and it's not wrong. So you may see a spike, a major spike, and then the price go the opposite direction, and you'll be like, oh, the indicator's wrong. No, it was the person that took that position that was wrong, actually, not the indicator. You're just getting real-time view of and an accurate view of volume spikes. So that's why it's important to use other forms of analysis with volume on there.
Hey, so hold up. So that big red wall that's rising right there. What
reversal?
Well, right. What is that telling you, right? So price is going up and volume is going up, and you have it in red. Yeah. That cluster.
That's not volume. This is not volume. This is the next indicator I was moving to. This is alpha reversal.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So alpha volume is just real-time volume. Alpha reversal is so. A lot of people trade out the stochastic RSI and momentum. I do too. I use momentum in a lot of to identify bottoms and tops. There's certain characteristics the momentum indicator will have to show a top and a bottom. Anyway, divergences are really useful to put into your analysis and your trades off of those 3 indicators. The problem is there's always going to be a divergence. When does it become significant? Any kind of rapid price movement will cause a divergence. So what the alpha reversal does is we've taken a formula of those 3, changed the stochastic formula ever so slightly, and added it's almost like a moving average on divergences, but it's not. So based on past divergences of what you're seeing on that time frame, if it moves out of that past divergence, like zone, the set parameters, then it will spike up. So what we're seeing here is the alpha reversal is showing significant bull divs. This yellow line here, this orange line, is when it crosses that means when it's significant, and it constantly adjusts based on the volatility, because volatility will affect divergences quite a bit, and you need to be able to automatically adjust when a divergence matters or not. So right now we are seeing some bull divs. So there's a couple things that can happen. We can correct the oversold and have a little bit of a rally to retest that. Probably not. More than likely, we'll see some continued selling slash flat action, and these bull divs will go away into some neutral bars like you see here. But this is a great indicator on all time frames. By the way, all these indicators work on all assets. You can see here that we had significant bear divs. This is when you want to start paying attention to price action when you see bear divs like this to see a pullback. We had the daily confirmed swing high here, and we saw significant bear divs. We want to look to open up a short at that point. So alpha reversal is for identifying significant divergences when they matter on all time frames. Additionally, if you're a more advanced trader, you can turn off that moving average, because some assets don't necessarily need that. There's some stocks that aren't as volatile where you can set a fixed threshold. This fixed threshold number right here is this number on the right. So if you do some research, I'll go rambling on about this, but all of these descriptions can be found on my TradingView site, or on TradingView under scripts for all the indicators on what they do and how to do them and how to use them.
All right, no, very cool. I did like that volume spike. I'm not a big volume guy, but I did like that one.
The key with it is you want very little price movement to show that it's dried up liquidity or demand. Otherwise, otherwise it's not going to give you any trades when it's moving.
All right, so we do have that 9 on a 15-minute chart. I don't see major strength yet. Yes, we do have a nice long shadow on the prior 15-minute candle, but the body of that candle is longer than the shadow. So that's not enough for me to rush in for a buying opportunity here. If the 8 candle was the 9 candle and it dropped us down even lower, then I would consider catching the falling knife. But right now, I'd still be watching this candle. But at first sign of strength, I would actually consider taking a scalp. But my stop loss would be, I'm almost forced to put the stop loss right below this, and there's my strength. So I actually wouldn't mind if I was scalping Bitcoin right now. This would be, I trust Sequential, so we can actually test this out right now in real time, just for shits and giggles. Can go long right about now. I want a nice round number to work with here. So let's just do 10,450. That's fine. 10,440. So we're in right at the current price. And where would I set the stop loss? I would give it a little bit of wiggle room. Set my stop loss below the swing low with intention to, wow, is it pouring out? It is. Damn. With intention to raise that stop loss the moment it shows strength. And but it only as a knife catch trade. I just think that it's short-term oversold. This doesn't mean that we're not going back to 9,000. This just means I'm trusting the 9s on the 15-minute candles. You can see how it called a short-term top here, short-term top here, short-term top there. This one probably would have gotten my stop loss hit, but that's okay because the prior 3 9s at the high would have gotten me good trades. And this one could end as a disaster. You know the market is moving. You want to do this with very little leverage. And hey, if you lose $200, you lost $200 on a trade, right? But I'm going with probability and statistics here. We're gonna try this 15-minute 9 and see what happens, and go from there. Nick, anything else you want to say? Any other indicators you wanna show?
No, that's about it. Yeah, keep an eye on my Twitter and my site. Lots of streaming coming, new stuff, similar services to trend analysis on my website. Be adding lots of data to my site, free and paid. It only goes to paid if it requires like a lot of work or requires me money to pull the data to my site.
All right, very cool. I can look at some regular stocks, but then you might be bored. I also wouldn't mind calling the show early, but I kind of want to see what happens to that 15-minute trade if it gets me stopped out at new lows, because that was a big crash. I mean, I wouldn't advise trying to catch a falling knife. It's best not to trade this. However, if you're going to catch a falling knife, you need structure. And my best structure for catching a falling knife is TD Sequential, as long as you have a history of it being more than statistically useful on a set time frame. And the 15-minute time frame has served Joe well. So figured, why not? If I happen to see one of these live, thought I'd take a look. And here we are. On a daily perspective, of course, be very, very careful here. We are being rejected at the top of the triangle. So the most likely outcome is now going back to the bottom of the triangle, which is at around 9,400. Where is that 15-minute chart? There it is. Okay. And also, by the way, if I get a if I get a red 1 next candle that's trading lower, and then a red 2 trading lower than the red 9, I would take my losses early. This is a case for, hey, if we whip down right now, I'd still be potentially confident we can go back up. But if this trade is not developing within 2 candles, and I can exit this trade with only a $40 loss instead of a $140 loss, that's exactly what I will do.
Hey, good. Somebody in the chat, Saint Tone should stop bringing in the ones that make money selling indicators. Nick, no real trader. Tone asked about the indicator. We really just came on to talk about the markets and stuff. Trust me, I don't make much selling the indicators and been trading my entire adult life. So that's,
yeah, no,
I'm not making a living off of indicators. I promise you that.
Nick trades a lot. You see, what people don't realize is, why do I have YouTube ads on my channel? Like, why do you guys think I force you to click a YouTube ad? I don't know if it's allowed for me to say how much money YouTube ads bring in, but it's very little. Like, let's just say the thumbnail on my, if I did a thumbnail for every new video, which I'm actually probably going to do, and now that I'm looking to, now that my graphic designer has a little more time and availability, the thumbnail for my YouTube video costs 5 times more than how much that YouTube video brings in for ads. So the question is, why do I force you to click through the ad for a measly $5 or $10 that I can certainly live without? And the answer is, for all the shit that I put up with in dealing with comments and live chats and all the trolls that I have to manage, if I don't charge you $10, I probably wouldn't do it. It's not about the money. It's about the principle. So if Nick spent, well, if I had to guess, I'd say you spend a good 200 hours building one of those indicators, 200-300 hours.
There's a lot of time. It's hard to say. Like the volume one took months of research. I know it doesn't look that complex, but trust me, it is a really complex volume indicator. The reversal, I mean, it takes a long time. It's really the research of finding like correct formulas. It takes forever.
Right. So my best guess is definitely over 100 hours of your time spent.
Yeah, easily.
Right. And as much as you want to give it away for free, what happens when you give something away for free? No one respects it, and everyone just asks you more questions because you become their customer support.
Yep. Basically, and those indicate, and I have an employee, like a dev, right, that's full time for me, you know, and so
right. And all of that costs money. Like all of that costs money. Every time you guys ask me a question, that costs me money to answer you. You may not realize it, right? That you have to pay employees to read your email. I have to spend my time answering your question, and that costs me money. Like, and that's why when you give something away for free, you increase the amount of customer support exponentially. So a lot of times when you charge for something, it's really a paywall, and those that expect everything for free just don't understand.
Yep.
I know, it frustrates me too, man. It really does.
Well, and then the argument goes, okay, so if you can trade, like, I know you don't trade, but like with me, if you can trade, then why sell indicators? Why sell? Look, there's a bigger picture, guys. Trading, you have to constantly adjust, right? And trading is far more profitable than any of this crap on social media, I promise. But a couple years from now, I have a goal that I'm working towards, and all this is just noise in between for right now for a bigger picture.
Well, same thing with me, right? It's sure, I can trade and make money, and no one would know who I am. On the flip side, I met John and Pete Najarian the other day, the guys with the CNBC show. And, dinners like that kind of make it worth it, right? It's they knew who I was, and it's great. A guy whose book I read 15 years ago, when I was studying options, asked if I wanted to go to dinner. Like, that's kind of why you change your lifestyle and do less trading and more stuff like I do.
All right.
More to life than money, guys. And I didn't enjoy my life sitting in front of 18 monitors, looking for the next trade. You get tired of it. But I am itching to trade traditional markets again. So we'll see what happens there.
Good luck. So KK said, hi, Nick, please share your thoughts on any possible relief for XLM. There is none. That's my thoughts on it. Just looking at it. Daily.
What's XLM? Is that Monero
Stellar,
or is that
Stellar? That's XMR. Yeah. Really, the only thing semi-bullish is the 4 hour. You know what? Not even there. Yeah, daily's in a bearish trend, and that's really what you need to look for. Overall, guys, unless a major event happens for that altcoin itself, you're not going to see altcoins pop off. It needs some kind of fundamental change for altcoins to really start a new trend. But as a whole,
this looks like a piece of crap. Oh my God. I don't know when the last time I looked at it was, but this blue line is there for a reason. Like this blue line, the breaking below of this blue line was like the first nail, and the rejection was the last nail. This thing is done. It's destroyed.
Yeah, I haven't traded alts for quite a while now, and I'm still, till that dominance changes trend, not going to be.
Why are people so stupid that they believe that Stellar is actually anything but an outright scam from Jeb McCaleb?
I think it's the altcoin market in general right now that's reflecting that price.
Oh, this is bad. Ugly, ugly, ugly chart, guys. ZC is Zcash, right? Oh, it's Zcash versus Ethereum.
Yeah, you're on an ETH pair.
All right, never mind. Yeah, see if you see any other good questions there.
Okay.
And how's that 15-minute knife catch going?
Your 15-minute knife catch? Probably not good.
It's down $40. I mean, if you leveraged it 100 to 1, right? You're down $4,000. 100 to 1, $40. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have taken a trade like that. Even like a knife catch, even on a knife catch. Not yet. It's getting close.
I mean, I would take it straight up with no leverage, just as an example of how to properly do a knife catch with good risk parameters. As an educational example, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to catch a knife, at least do it right. And I would like to stay on for 2 more candles to show you, which may or may not happen. Probably won't. At least I want to wait until the next candle, which is starting right now. I tell you what, though, if the next candle puts me in the green, if the next candle, I should probably have a green line here. And this should probably be a blue line for a stop loss. I do want to wait one more. I do want to show what happens on the next candle.
Okay. I'm just kind of going through some stuff right now.
Let me see here. I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. But I'm doing a Q&A this Saturday. Again, can I do it for free? Sure, I could. But I'd rather charge $50 so that people are actually serious and paying attention.
Already fast. Nick or Tone, what's your opinion on Binance stating that Bitcoin dominance will go to 50, 60%? I think it's in their interest to have dominance go down to 50, 60%. And that's
of course, it means their coin will pump. Yeah, it's self-interest. It's exactly what it is. They're not looking at it objectively that their coin is an outright scam.
Just because CZ runs an exchange too does not make him a good trader or a good analyst. I've seen CZ many times attempt to predict the market, and it's really never worked out well. And people have taken him dead serious when most of the time he's just like hyping stuff up.
I mean, I tell you what, though. I mean, CZ's been around. He was the CTO of OKCoin. So CZ's been around longer than me. When I joined the space, when I publicly joined the space in 2014, CZ was already known. So my guess is he's been around since, 2012, 2011, at least 2012. And I understand that he was very, very tired and very, very stressed. But I tell you what, though, no matter how stressed or tired I am, the thought of I can get the miners to reverse Bitcoin transactions will never cross my head. And
I think he got a little too big for his britches there and thought Binance was a little more important than they were.
Like whoever brought that thought up in a meeting and CZ did anything but laugh at that, no matter how tired you are, it just shows that it just shows you that Binance is irresponsible, right? Like I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he was tired, but no, that's not gonna.
I don't believe. Yeah, I think he believed he was. I think he knew exactly what had to happen and believed he was a little more important than he actually was.
I think someone at that table told him, "What the hell are you thinking?" And then he's like immediately backtracked.
Hey, Stu, I don't have any books on volume. Sorry, just my own research. Wish I could recommend some books on that.
Someone is asking if I'll record and replay Saturday's class. Probably not. What is the elevator speech for TD Sequential? I don't have one. Guys, it's an indicator. I didn't invent it. It's been around since 1980. Larry Williams invented it, and it was called the Sequential Trading System. Tyler has the original book and the original notes, like original thing. So I don't have an elevator pitch. It's just something that Wall Street trusts more than any other indicator.
Basically, the theory goes that markets cycle within a set amount of periods, and the TD sequential determines those periods that capital exhausts within a set amount of periods.
Guys, the Saturday Q&A is at 9 a.m. Eastern, but you have to register on tonebase.com.
Martin, my indicators prices are listed on the site. There's also a monthly for all three if you want to try them out instead of buying one of them outright.
Yeah, here's Nick's site.
It's on the bio. It's in the bio of Tone's.
Yeah, it's in the video description as well. Again, I'm not recommending it, right? Like you guys know the deal. You guys know the deal on this channel. Learn to trade, do it yourself, build the indicators. Like, look, obviously I'm friends with Nick. Obviously I like Nick. I want you guys to be Nick, not like I want you to build your own indicators, right? Like you don't have to sell them. Like that's the goal of this channel. I bring people on, even myself, right? Like go build. Like I spend a lot of time and a lot of money putting together my version of the TD sequential, and that's why it's called TI sequential, because it has changes. You can do that yourself, you know, like find an advantage in the market, code it up in an indicator. You don't have to sell it. You can just trade it, right? That's the goal. Like I'm here to, I bring on guys like Nick to show you that if you put in, you know, the effort and enough time spent, you can build your own indicators that will help you in the market. And if you build it, you will trust it more than anyone else saying it's crap or not. It works for you. That's why you build it. Any comments on that?
I don't think so. Not for me. Were you asking the chat or me? No, I don't have any.
No, I was just explaining, right? Like,
yeah. I prefer, I would rather, instead of giving people trades, because I get messages all the time, hey, do you have a signal channel or anything like? I don't. I post my analysis. I post my analysis when I have time, and I really just share that, just because I don't benefit from it. But yeah, I would rather teach people, which is why a majority of my stuff is on education than offer signals. Plus, there's some legality issues in that.
Yeah, so I do have the alert channel for the sequential, and we're just alerting you when it hits a 9 or a 13. You need to know how to trade that. I throw in my commentary. There was one chart that I really liked, and that was Dollar Tree. And I think it should be in my list. And let me look at the stock list. And I remember, someone should go back to my videos because I'm not going to do it. I remember, is Dollar Tree here? I got too many stocks here now. Dollar. What's the ticker? Hold on. DLTR. There it is. This is the weekly, and you can see how the weekly topped on a 9. I don't remember when I talked about Dollar Tree, but I think I talked about it on a daily when it hit this 9 right here at the low. I checked the notification channel. I didn't see it notified, but this is a double 9, something I really, really like. You can see that there was a 9 up here, corrected the market, and then a 9 up here, corrected the market. This 9 did not reverse the market, but it turned into a double one, and that was great. And right now, I think it's going to pull back a little bit, but I'm bullish the stock. It just behaves pretty well with Sequential, and I think it can pull back here, maybe back down to about $100, 105 maybe, and then enter the countdown phase. So I am generally bullish on Dollar Tree here, but it's just the way it behaves with Sequential. Another 9 right here at the high, 1 down here at the high, 1 up here at the high. Just very nice. Granted, these 9s went straight up. Not every trade's going to work, but we just notify on these red arrows, and you're supposed to know what to do with it. And if you don't, study up. You know, it's an indicator with lots of resources online, including the educational section of tonebase.com.
I think we're about to get your pop-up right here. I think it's about to shoot.
Oh, on the Bitcoin? Yeah, hey,
right
so,
now.
The notification right now is free. Once the notification goes to a paid service, you get to select, the buckets of assets. So you're not going to get a million charts a day. You're going to choose, do you want like the top 25 crypto, the top 25 stocks, the 25 tech stocks? Do you want currencies? Do you want commodities? Right now is just everything. And I let you decide, but eventually only say 50 crypto, not scroll through 500. I agree. And once we go to a subscription model for the alert service, you can just select top 25 crypto. Maybe we'll do top 50 crypto. And then you're only going to get those notifications. Once the service is right now, it's you get everything and it's free. And then eventually it's gonna cost you a little bit of money, and you're not gonna get everything. You're just gonna get what you want or what you're looking for. All right, where's that 15-minute chart? We got back to my entry. So here we go. We got 6 minutes left. I'll wait for this candle to finish, and then we're gonna call it a day. Really, really curious here.
It should be ready to split upwards right here. Let's see.
I like the consolidation on a 10-minute chart. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. See, this is also why, was that a 9 on a 5-minute? See, that was a 9 on a 5-minute chart, but it was an ugly looking candle. I like the 5-minute chart here as well. I'm just waiting for a green price flip and having a little bit of a pop. I got 20 seconds to go on this 5 minutes. But I think the 10 minutes still has 5 minutes left, right? I do want to trade in a green before I, end the show. I am bearish here, guys, because of this rejection. I am looking for a touch. I just think that falling $700 in a half an hour is enough. And but the moment these lows are broken, once we pop here, which I believe that we will, once we pop up to, let's say, 10,500, maybe 10,600, after that, the moment we start approaching, the moment we fall back below 10,500, I'll be looking for significantly lower prices, at least back down to 10. This was just a short example of how to catch a falling knife with structure. In fact, the moment this candle ends, I would be raising my stop loss to below the 9's low, because at this point, if the price of this asset falls back to below this 9's low, I am no longer confident in my trade. I almost want to just leave it there already, because we're down to 4 minutes to go. And if this candle, but I won't do it yet. I'll wait 4 more minutes. And if this thing pops to, let's say, 10,550, or not even that, or even if it pops to 10,500, at that point, I'm looking at a break-even stop, whether that's mental or whether that's actually physical in the exchange. Now, this is Bitstamp that we're using. Adjust to your exchange accordingly.
Here's a pro tip for you guys that do analysis on other exchanges but trade on a different exchange. TradingView has a multi-view. It's right up there, that little square right there. Yep. So if you pull up whatever exchange you do your trading on and whatever one you do your analysis on, like I like to use Bitstamp, and then you go right back up to that little square. Or after you put the exchanges side by side, you can sync like your crosshairs and drawings and all that if you want. But it's a good way to translate support resistance levels from exchange to exchange.
Hey, what when you do look at these short-term charts, whether it's anything under 30 minutes, 15, 10, 5, what oscillators do you keep an eye on, Nick?
Really the same ones. Oscillators. Oh,
indicators. Like, do you look at
your?
Oh,
okay. So like the main indicators I use now are alpha volume for real-time volume, alpha reversal for your oscillators and divergences, and OBV for cumulative volume, because alpha volume is real-time volume, not cumulative. As far as technical indicators, that's pretty much all I'm using nowadays. I still use Ichimoku, of course, Bollinger Bands when I'm looking for price movement. That's about it.
I got two minutes to go till the candle. What's up?
It's the same on all time frames.
Yeah. I don't want this candle to end, so I can raise that stop loss.
It's about to get nasty. Might want to put that stop loss now.
No, I'm gonna. I'll wait at least 30 more seconds.
For the minute to close?
Well,
I mean, 30 seconds is only the minute indicator.
Yeah. Like if this candle closes below this candle's low, I'm no longer bullish on this time frame. Basically, like the knife catch strategy needs to really work immediately. Otherwise, you got to get out. So if this thing has not worked on a 15-minute candle, if this thing has not achieved your goal in 2 to 3 candles, it's time to get out of that trade.
I think I'm gonna have to wrap up here, Tone.
Yep. Let's wait. Just wait. You got 40 seconds to go. Let's wait till next candle, and then we'll call it a day.
Gotcha.
In the meantime, guys, I'm going to advertise the Financial Summit one more time. Going down in Bali. You can see the traders that are already coming. There's no actual speakers. It is more of a networking event between traders and funds, and hopefully some programmers that can help code those strategies in for you. We will have conference rooms and stuff. It's more of an unconference where we make the agenda a lot closer based on who's coming. And we will have, people will be presenting their strategies. I'll be educating on TD Sequential and other stuff. And it's almost like a get-together with traders and funds. All right, here we go. Next candle, and the stop loss is raised. And guess what's going to happen? If the current candle does not cross the bottom of the candle that just completed, my stop loss gets raised to that one. Now, there isn't much of a difference there. It's like a $3 difference. So that's not going to do much. But right now, where would I have my stop loss? It would be just below 10,375. And my risk has now become $40 plus another $25. So that's $65 worth of risk on zero leverage. If you leveraged accordingly, because right now, here's what I'm thinking. If the current candle falls below this blue line, then this knife catch trade has failed. And in fact, I would even consider a short, because now I have a red 2 going below a red 1, going below the 9, accelerating the drop. So that's how I would treat it. All right, guys. On this note, I'll keep an eye on this trade, maybe for as long as I'm sitting in front of a computer for the next few hours, and we'll see how it goes. And if it pops to above 10,500, set a break-even stop and see how far it goes. That's my strategy on how I would be catching a falling knife. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Once again, all of Nick's links are in the video description. If you're interested in his indicators, they're not expensive. And you can check out his YouTube channel. And Nick, thanks again for joining.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye, guys. See you on the next one.